One of the most underrated floor plans and lots you'll see in this community right here. In this video, I'm walking you through a floor plan that does not exist as a model home anywhere in Texas and is not shown anywhere on the internet either. Now, this is the Haskell plan built by Coventry Homes. This specific home was just closed on by my client, but if you like this floor plan, you want to build it from scratch, I'm going to go over pre-market lots that are coming up in a couple months that have incredible views off the backyard. So more on that later. As soon as we walk in through the front door, as you can tell, we're open to the second story, and there are so many parts of this floor plan that make it very underrated. We'll cover those different parts throughout this video, and first, I want to go right out to the main living area. And while we head out here, I want to give a big shout out to my clients who closed on this home and are now moved in. I appreciate you for allowing me to put this on YouTube and show this great floor plan. I think it's underrated for so many reasons, and one of those reasons is right here in the living room, which is open to the second story, has great windows off the back wall, and is one of the largest living rooms you'll see in the series that's offered in this community called Santa Rita Ranch. Now, more about Santa Rita Ranch and the suburb that we're in called Liberty Hill, all of that's going to be later on in the video. I want to start right here in the kitchen. What clients tell me they love about kitchens like this is the cabinetry. The cabinetry going all the way down to that butler's pantry area in between the kitchen and the dining room just makes this kitchen feel so grand. Now, I think my clients did a great contrast for the design here, doing dark cabinets, but keeping everything else in here very light and bright, including the countertops, the backsplash, and the flooring that's throughout this main living area. Now, if you saw two bulb lights that were over the over the kitchen island, those are going to be pendant lights. So we need wiring put in those places, and then it's easy to just change those out and put in pendant lights after closing. In fact, most of my clients end up doing that after closing, so they have more options to choose from, and in some cases, it's not as expensive using your own high-end light fixtures. Also, if that microwave looks out of place where there was no trim around it, it's one of those things that has to happen right at the end of closing. So I should say my clients are closing actually today, and that was one of the last things that just needed to be completed right before we closed. And sometimes there's something like that that's cosmetic, that's not a big deal, that just kind of comes in at the last second. Now, what I think came together really well was this countertop. Notice that it sparkles in different parts of this. You can rewind the video to take a look at that one more time. You can see some of those sparkles get brought out by the kitchen backsplash, which I think coordinates really well with that countertop. And then the dark speckles get pulled out by these dark cabinets that I think work so well with the upgrades that are shown in this kitchen. Now, what my clients tell me they love most about Coventry are definitely the windows in places you wouldn't think there would be windows. Like, this is one of those areas. Imagine having your coffee machine right here and your morning cup of coffee. You start running the machine here, and you're able to just get natural light coming in through this window and look out to your massive side yard. Now, that's actually what we're going to get to next, the yard, but I want to give you a quick look at the pantry, and then we have a dining room next to this, and the backyard does have a story attached to it that goes like this. Back in 2023, there was a gap with lots opening up in this very sought-after community called Santa Rita Ranch. Very popular. It's actually the top-selling community in the Austin metro area. So there's a lot of buyers looking in this market. There's also a lot of supply. Santa Rita Ranch is planning on building 10,000 homes at any given time. There's 10, 12, 14 builders actively building in this community. So there tends to be a lot of inventory. Also, at that time, interest rates were still relatively high from where they were in prior years, and also the stock market was not ripping like it did in late 2023 and early 2024. So I told my clients, hey, if we want a lot like this that has a breakfast nook, that has all these great windows that look out to a beautiful backyard, we need to be the first one to act. And I got them in line so that when these lots opened up, we had to wire in funds right after midnight. And I figured 2 maybe 3 buyers after us would buy and probably buy some of the other good lots that are down the street, but they probably want this lot. Everybody wants the cul-de-sac lot that's huge, that backs up to this beautiful stone wall, but really it's the size that they want. The other lots were not as nearly as big as this one. What ended up happening is after we wired in funds to get this lot and build this plan, 6 other buyers bought in the 3 hours after midnight after we wired in funds. And 4 of those 6 buyers all wanted this lot. And I have to tell you, to get out to this backyard and see the stone wall and how much space is back here. By the way, there's a third amenity center going in this community back there that just had its grand opening. It's got 3 pools, it's got pickleball courts, it's on 8 acres, it's huge. All the way back there in the distance is also a brand new elementary school and a middle school that was built a couple years ago. So everything is here on site, very close by to this house, and there's this ridiculous backyard size that has this patio that feels so grand because of the ceiling height that's here. And you might have saw a gas stub out was there on the right side. Perfect place for a grill, and that is a perfect backyard to do whatever you want. You want to put a pool back there, you want to do landscaping. There's so many different things that you can do there because the size is massive, and I think that's captured throughout the home. It's captured right here in the breakfast nook area, obviously there in the backyard. There's no neighbor to the right side of us, which I think is fantastic. And then you'll also see a great view in the primary bedroom that we're going to get to in a second. But like I was saying earlier, it makes it all worth it. Sometimes it's very risky to be the first one to get into a phase. You never know if that builder's going to sell a lot of that phase when they open up with pricing. And if they don't, then they start to increase incentives. And sometimes you can get better prices later on in a phase. But sometimes you have a phase where you have these floor plans that a lot of people have walked and are waiting for new lots to open up, and you know demand is building and that you need to be the first one to act. And obviously for this section of lots, we needed to be the first one to act, and it was so worth it. Also, designing from scratch was so worth it. You saw 2 floor outlets there. You see electrical up on the wall. You see speakers on the side, which are those white caps that are not switches or anything like that. Those are all speakers right here in the living room for a great surround sound system. And I'm so excited for my clients to have that for music, or if they want to use it with their TV. What a cool thing to put into your home. And these are the things you can do when you're building from scratch. Now, while we're in the primary bedroom, and then we'll take a look at the primary bathroom in a second, I wanted to go back to the floor plan. So this is the Haskell plan, and I should have mentioned this earlier. We're over 3,800 square feet with the structural upgrades that are in this home. Like upstairs, you're going to see a media room that my client added, which I think is a great value add on floor plans like this. And we also have 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. Now, 2 of those bedrooms are downstairs, so we're going to see a second bedroom and bathroom down here along with a powder bath. But this is that view out to the backyard that I think is incredible right from the primary bedroom. And you may not notice it, but there's a slight slope going up into that stone wall, and we didn't know that when we looked at this lot. It's hard to see how much site work they'll put in or how they'll angle the home initially, at least at a certain slope. Like, you can't know exactly what the slope will be in your backyard, but what's really nice about that is it gives privacy back there. You can't really see too many cars above that stone wall unless like they're a huge truck, and then it gives you privacy also with people walking by. So we really like that. Walking out into that main living area, it's one of the first things you notice is how wide that backyard is. The second thing I should have mentioned is my name's Raj Sahu. I'm a realtor in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 20 different builders. So I provide an unbiased perspective on what I think the pros and cons are of each option with each builder in various communities in the Austin metro area. I've also helped a lot of my clients build from scratch. Like, for example, the upgrades you see here is they have an accent wall on the left side, and I love that tile pulling out the different veins that are in the tile right in front of us. And then running that up to the ceiling is such a fantastic design upgrade. Also, that accent wall you might see later as a backsplash around the tub, which I showed briefly. And I think these small things add up so much when you're living in these homes, because when you pick these from scratch, you pick the design that you want. I find my clients who build from scratch are some of the most satisfied after closing because they're able to enjoy all the upgrades that they put into their home. Now, you can also buy these floor plans already under construction. So if the idea of building from scratch is too overwhelming for you, you don't want to make all these different design and structural upgrade decisions, then you can find these floor plans throughout the Austin metro area already being built by the builder with all the upgrades already chosen. So you can just come in and buy those homes. And depending on what stage of construction, sometimes you can close as fast as 30 days. Sometimes it's more like 2 to 5 months. It just depends on the home. But there are so many different floor plans like that already getting built out by Coventry Homes throughout the Austin metro area. And I've actually had clients buy those as well, because some people just don't want to wait for their home to be completed. Some people just want to move into Austin, Texas and move right into their home rather than grab a rental and build from scratch. And to each their own, it all depends on what you value. And what I always say is if you can find what you're looking for in an inventory home, it's probably best to just go for it and save the hassle. But if you're very particular, you love the idea of building from scratch, I've found it's a very rewarding process. Now I'm going to show you how to access some pre-market lots where you can build this floor plan with an incredible view off their backyard in a different community. While we go through this powder bathroom, and there's a 3-car garage opposite of this powder bathroom. Then there's even a second bedroom down that has an in-suite full bathroom. This is what so many of my clients tell me they want, is they want that second bedroom down for having parents staying with them so that they're there comfortably. You got the utility room right here across from the powder bathroom. So, excuse me, the next door is actually the 3-car tandem garage, which we're gonna see next. And while we're here, I'll just tell you that you can build this floor plan in so many communities across the Austin metro area. One of those communities is here in Santa Rita Ranch, where they do have, at the time I'm recording this video, new lots that back up to a greenbelt. So if you want to back up to greenery, you want big lots, there are opportunities to build this plan on those lots. Maybe not as big as this one, but definitely some good lots and some that back up to greenery. Now, another community that has some lots that are coming up very soon that have spectacular views off the backyard, it's a community called Parkside on the River. It's located south of here in Georgetown, Texas, another suburb that's north of the Austin, Texas area. And that community has great views, fantastic topography, and this new section is actually feeding to Leander Independent School District. So most of the community is Georgetown ISD, and for a lot of my clients that have to have Leander ISD, that is going to be a great opportunity to do that, especially if you want a view off the backyard. Now, right now they have a list of around 300 to 400 people, and I'm first on that list, and that's why I'm excited to say that if you want to get in line on that section, you want a great view off your backyard, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video, and I'll tell you I'm first in line out of all those hundreds of people, but keep in mind I also have clients, so I can try to get you in front, but definitely reach out to me and I'll just tell you where you are with my clients that I have. But right now they're open, and I can get you in line to build these great plans backing up to this ridiculous view. I'll try to give you a good visual of what that view looks like in the comments below, where I will put a video of either my client's home that's currently being built in that community. They're also building the Haskell plan. They have an incredible view off their backyard. I think it showcases the views that are in this community. But if my clients want to keep their home private, no worries. I'll post something else that shows the views in Parkside on the River. By the way, one of my clients building this plan in that community is at pre-drywall stage. And now that the structure of the home is up, we just haven't put walls up yet. We can see the view, we can see where all the windows are, and the views in that community are spectacular. But I have to say, we are in a community right now, Santa Rita Ranch, that's the top selling community for a reason. And the reason really is because of the amenities that I mentioned before. There are 3 different amenity centers, one that's across this section in Santa Rita Ranch South, that is across from an elementary school that's there. And this community became so popular, they decided to build another elementary school in this section for Liberty Hill Independent School District. And they did that a lot faster than they originally expected, just because there's so much growth happening in this area and so many people moving to this area that need that elementary school on site. And by the way, this is the dining room that has incredible windows. I love how my clients don't have a neighbor on that side, so there's just great privacy here. Here's another look at that side yard, and then wait until you see the windows that are in the study, which we'll see next. But I'll continue mentioning that those on-site amenities are huge for this area, because for a lot of my clients that say, I want to build a pool in my backyard, and then they look at the pool cost, and they start getting quotes for $100,000 or $150,000 or $200,000, and then I tell them, in a lot of cases, the general rule of thumb is you'll get back around 50% of what you pay for your pool at future resale. Now, there could be some exceptions to that depending on the neighborhood, especially if it's normalized to have a pool in a backyard or it's expected for a particular lot. That could be the case where it's really needed, but most of the time you're not going to get your money back out of that pool. So it's really just a luxury to have. But for some buyers, they say, well, if I live close by to the amenity center, like this home is down the street, walking distance from the newest amenity center that's here in Santa Rita Ranch. It's got 3 pools, it's got pickleball courts, it's very active, very lively, it's very eventful, then you can save a lot of money by not putting a pool in your backyard when you're very close by to the amenity center. Also, I've found so many of my clients tell me that their kids meet friends in the neighborhood. Obviously, they go to school with the kids in the neighborhood, and they always want to meet together at the amenity center. They want to have fun in that huge pool, and they want to run around. And it's so great to just have your kids go down to the amenity center, and that's a place to meet all of their friends. I think a lot of times as parents, we think like we have to go to the arcade, we got to go to this play place, we got to go to this area, and that's how we're going to meet all our friends, is constantly go out to these different areas and entertain our kids. And sometimes that's nice to get out, but sometimes it's also nice to just have that in the community where one parent takes all 3 or 4 or 5 kids that are all friends with each other to the amenity center and watches all of them. And it's nice to just have that right in your community. And my wife and I are getting to that stage. We have 2 kids, both under the age of 3. And our daughter, who's about to turn 3, she has a lot of energy. She needs to get that energy out. And sometimes it's just nice having something around our community that she can go to and meet up with friends. And I wish we had amenities like they do here in Santa Rita Ranch. That's the big draw for people to come out here. Now, there are also other amenities around this community. I'll get into that in a second. Those amenities just came up, but I want to tell you, this is the game room. It's got a few windows off the side. I like the space that's between the homes because we are in a half cul-de-sac, so there's definitely a lot more room on the sides. And then this is one of the structural upgrades that we did that adds square footage to the plan. This is the media room. If you notice white caps on the wall, it's already pre-wired for surround sound. If you see a wire in front of us, that's just to fish wires through that area, so you hide wires if you put a TV there. If you decide to use a projector screen, you saw an outlet up there for that projector to project onto a screen in that area. And so there's so many different things you can do in that media room. If you want to go full-blown media room theater experience, that's definitely the way to do it, is get the pre-wiring done with the builder, and then after closing, reach out to a couple companies. And if you need recommendations for which companies to use, reach out to me. I've had clients spend $10,000 on a media room. I've had others spend like $40,000 to $80,000. There's quite a bit that you can do in there, and I have multiple examples of what my clients have done and great contacts that can do that for you. Now, we do have a couple of bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms that are here. One that's accessible through the hallway, and then one that is a Jack and Jill full bathroom that is accessible from one of the bedrooms and then exits out through the game room. So we'll see that in a second. While we go through that, I do want to mention that this community, once upon a time, was so far out. Everybody wanted the amenities, everybody wanted the on-site schools, they wanted to go to the events in Santa Rita, but they felt like it was so far out and there weren't enough businesses around this community. Now, for a lot of my clients that have been buying in this community over the last 4 years, I was telling them, hey, I can't guarantee you when this will happen, but it looks probable that the corridor just south of here, which is 29, which runs east and west, and Ronald Reagan Boulevard, which runs north and south, that corridor could take off with commercial. And sure enough, a grocery store came in here called H-E-B about a year ago in that intersection. Then it attracted a lot of businesses. Now there are restaurants, there are shops, there are dental offices and medical offices. There's Orange Theory Fitness. There's a taco place called Torchy's where I get tacos, salmon tacos there twice a week because I love going to that place, and those tacos are fantastic. And this didn't exist. There was nothing in that intersection 2 years ago, and now there's so much going on. And that's why I think for a lot of clients that are looking in this area are now saying, hey, Santa Rita Ranch is taking off. Now there's even communities north of here, and there's so much more new construction getting further built out into Liberty Hill, where now I think people are saying, hey, Santa Rita is closer in than some of these other communities north of there. Now it's just becoming more and more desirable. But now closer in just means close to that intersection where all those businesses are, because that intersection is about 5 minutes away from this community. And to access all your amenities 5 minutes away from your community, and then have all these on-site amenities inside the community, and then have great schools, it's that perfect combination that I think is attracting so many people here. Now, if you want more details on Santa Rita Ranch or get that unbiased perspective for other communities that fit your criteria, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. Instead of selling you on a particular builder, on a particular plan, I'm going to present to you the best options and not only give you the pros of those options, but also the cons. Most importantly, I can get you in line in some of these areas. Not every community is selling fast or has a section that's going to have 7 lots sell right in the first 3 hours of opening up after midnight like this section did. Some of my clients, I'm telling them for their criteria, they should wait a couple months because inventory is building up in certain areas of the Austin metro area. In other words, in this market now more than ever, timing based on the community that you're looking in is everything. There are some communities I think my clients should buy first. There are others where I'm telling my clients to wait. So if you want that perspective, reach out to me. I'll be very straightforward with you. And then also, if you want different homes for sale, at the time I'm recording this video, I update those on my website. The only way you access those videos is on my website, which is at the top of the description of this video. And then show some love for my clients in the comment section. Let them know what you loved about their home. And for my clients, congratulations. So excited for you. Welcome to Santa Rita Ranch. Thanks, everybody. Take care.